7. You're on CarTorque, DJ. Another night, another Tuesday night, another show happening. You just listen to James with Man vs. Movies. Always good listening. But tonight, it's I've got a few good people in the studio. I've got James. How you going, James? James from Esblshd.
There you go.
Regular guest. And we've got Dr. Rock, the legend of 98.9 Northwest FM.
It's almost like I paid him to say that, the legend. God, I've been called other things, but the legend. God, it struck me. It's just because I've been around here forever, but you know.
well, you do get that what's the word? Holy grail moment when you walk in the studio. So it's always good to have you here.
Thanks, mate. I thought I'd drop in and say hello to both of you boys here and congratulate you on what you've done with the station on a Tuesday night.
Tuesday night's where it's at. It's all happening on a Tuesday night. There's some great shows afterwards as well. So keep it locked here on 98.9 Northwest FM. So just big up to James. Give his Facebook page a like. It's Man vs. Movie, Man vs. Movies. And give it a share and listen every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. because there's good listening on there. So tonight we're going to get back on topic of just like a few random things. The debate that always rages within the car community is driving a slow car fast more fun than driving a fast car slow?
Just the risk factor, yes, because a slow car's not designed to go fast. And if you want to get your jollies...
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, well, exactly right.
As opposed to a fast car driving slow, it's like you imagine jumping in a Lamborghini and doing 45k down, Hume Highway, I mean,
you couldn't hack it.
It'll be crying,
That's right.
It'd feel, what's the word?
Obscene.
Not right.
Yeah.
Too hard.
The thing is, driving the slower car fast, you're really right on the edge. You're right on the the edge of the
on the
knife
cusp.
there.
Yeah.
So basically, even sometimes having a front wheel drive car, so personal experiences, going fast and then copping understeer. Understeer is like not knowing when you're going to die, sort of thing. It's just like how long can it hold on for before.
I wonder if the experience wouldn't be like you're driving along the highway 110 or so. And you hit a town and for whatever reason, you decide to slow down, And you're going from your 110 down to 40 or 50. It's a feeling that you're still doing 40, 50k, which is a reasonable speed.
Yeah.
But you've come from 10, 20 minutes of driving at that other speed, and your reactions, it's
just like, what am I doing?
I've stopped, almost, Yeah. Can I just say, I bought a Valiant, 63 Valiant, I don't know what year, X something, from someone, or he offered to sell it to me some years ago for $100, and it was a station wagon, and it had a few creaks and cracks and all that.
Is this a recent development?
Oh, this happened a few years back.
Okay, yeah.
And a mate and I said, well, before we buy it, you should try it out on the highway, so we thought we'll see how fast we can make it go.
Yeah.
Back in the day when it was a bit safe in respect of not getting fined. And we took it up Hume Highway, headed up towards Seymour, and we got up to 165, and there was until my mate finally said, all right, that's enough. And I swear the whole car was just shaking.
Yeah.
And then we slowed down
and falling off down the highway.
Yeah. And then I thought about it after, so I thought, do 160 odd, and I wanted to see if I didn't get down. We got to 155. I wanted to get to 160 for 100 mile, and I thought if something had happened, would we have, this would have been like a split second, and it was an incredibly stupid thing to do, and anyway.
Well, that's the fun bit about it. So I'll give my 2 cents because like. I have this conversation with a few people like, you got 1,000 horsepower, this, that, and the other. But I'm like, 9 times out of 10, you're never going to be able to use it. I mean, like, unless you're on a track. Like, you agree with me, right?
Even on the track, like, putting 1,000 horsepower to the ground isn't
easy.
Like having a sandwich,
Yeah. So I'm like, too, like for example, with my 2 cars, I've got one, like, stupid, pointlessly fast car, and then my other car is just, like, an everyday, a commuter. But it's like a fun little hatchback, yeah? As I said to my brother, we were having this conversation yesterday. I have more fun driving my slow car fast because I can like rev the nuts off it every day, and I'm not passing the speed limits, and I'm enjoying myself because I can throw it into a corner and
the butt dyno.
Yeah,
going nuts.
Yeah, that's what. And you feel fast doing like 2 k's per hour, whereas in the F6 on the other hand, like by the time you're in boost, you're like well over the speed limit, and you're like, okay, well that's my license gone about 20 minutes ago. So I want to leave it to the people. So send us a text on 044777 989. That's 044777 989. Let me know what your thoughts are on this topic, because for seats, like for seat in the pants experience, I think that's what they call it. Driving a slow car fast on an everyday is always more fun. Like, okay, it's cool to have a really powerful car, but when you're not driving it on roads that it's meant to be driven on, it's quite boring. Because you're like wanting to, like, for example, in the other car, you want to get into the boost and you want to drive it hard. But you can't.
Especially like that. You see videos on YouTube, people in the States, 2,000 horsepower Supras, and it's a handful to drive. It's not an everyday thing. Like, no. it's wheel spin in first, wheel spin in second, wheel spin in fifth gear if you wanted to. But
you're blowing the tires off every gear.
That's what I mean. And it's a handful. You got to watch out for oil pressure, boost levels, coolant, temperature. It's not like a leisurely drive.
Yeah.
So driving the slower car fast, on the other hand, it's awesome.
I have a question, a bit of trivia, a car trivia question.
Bring it on.
Which they can also go on SMS there, 0447 777 989. We have, in fact, man has driven a car on the moon. Did you know that?
Was it, like, were they in the car, or was it?
We actually took a car up to the moon.
Yeah, I didn't know
because a good mass, the last manned mission to the moon.
Yep.
1975, I think it was. What's the fastest speed that they went? I do know this. It's a trivia question. I heard it just the other day, because the man who drove it passed away, and he said,
I heard the last person on the moon. Yep. Yeah, I heard that.
He passed away, and he said, "God damn, we had fun. We even took a car up there."
Is it in miles or kilometres?
Kilometres.
Okay.
So, which is a little bit odd, because America's miles, but right. It was quoted in kilometres. Okay. I've got no doubt it's correct. Have a guess. I don't know if you ever want to have a prize. If anyone can guess it, 044777 989.
Should we leave that?
And I'm here for about half an hour, and I'll give you the answer before I go.
Before you go, sounds good. Look, we're going to get to our first break of the night. We'll continue this with Dr. Rock and James from Esblshd. We're going to get to a song off one of my favourite albums of all time. This is the Presets off their album, what's it called, Apocalypso. And the song is called My People. I don't know if you guys ever heard this song. It's a cracking track. Bit of trivia with the song. I'll put it in there, because seeing as we're on the topic of trivia, people usually think the song's like, you with when the chorus goes, "Oh, I'm here with all of my people," they think, "Oh, you're like your group." The actual song was based for the people that were in the refugee camps and all locked up. They're locked up with all our people.
Is this an Australian band?
It is an Australian group.
Okay, good.
Because we do love Australian music on community radio. So this is the Presets with their classic "My People."
Good on you.
We're back on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is CarTorque with Matty J. Still in the studio with Dr. Rock and James from Esblshd. Now, James from Esblshd, he's obviously big into car meets and organising things. So he's always letting us know the car meets for the community. So, in light of the recent events in the city, which I'm pretty sure everyone's been aware of, that happened on Friday, the man that drove through the people. It was just one of the...
Yeah, look, I mean, could they have stopped him? The police, I do know a police officer that was in town.
Yep.
And he said they could not physically stop that car, because when there's a pursuit on, there are so many things they could do if there's a threat to the public. Look, it's absolutely terrible. Absolutely
that it was in the CBD.
Terrible. And the scary thing is the idiot fringe out there that want to make a name for themselves. It's just scary. It is scary. Thankfully, I suppose they've got time now to charge him and to try to get into his mind what was he on about.
Let's hope he doesn't get out on bail, like how. Oh. Yeah, because it's that. Look. I know it's a car show, but that whole thing needs to be looked at, because it's
the bail system that is failing everybody. Police do their best. They arrest people, they get them before a magistrate, and. But it's further than that. Look,
their hands are tied. The coppers. They can't really do much until they're told what to do. So.
And could you imagine how frustrated they would be?
Oh yeah. I can imagine.
I mean, someone made a point saying, "Oh, if it was America, someone would have pulled a gun out and shot him." And I thought, "Well, if it was America, he would have probably had an AK-47,
yeah.
And it would have been more than 3 or 5 dead."
Exactly.
Even one of your university shootings. But you follow that on from why he was on bail. The pressure is there. to give bail unless they're absolutely sure, because there is such shortage of space in prisons. And that is because, and like I said to some people on Sunday there who live up the bush, and I said, what would you say if I come to you and I'm your local member? And I said, we're going to create employment in Wandon. We're going to build a prison for 2,000 prisoners, 5 kilometres down the road.
Yep.
What are you going to do? No, we don't want it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Nobody wants a prison in the area. So you look at Bowen Prison now, it's almost a joke. The youth detention centre's a joke. It's just, what does the government do?
Yeah, their hands are tied. It needs to be really, really severely looked at. There's a lot going on, and it's there's a bigger fish to fry this is what the bigger fish is to fry than the other stuff people are kind of focusing on. So this is an important thing.
Can they immobilise a car like that? Is there a way of doing? I mean, surely shooting its tyres out, but then you just not,
Surely they could have, because if you're looking, there were so many cars around him, like police cars around him. They could have, one could have hit him or done something, either side and boxed him in.
Yeah.
Because I know boxing in's a common technique. A lot of police use, especially in the States. They box him in, or they can't really do a pit maneuver when he's doing donuts, but they can at least box him in and not allow him to go through. But look, it's what's done is done. And I guess we're gonna have to move on from this, because I think this is the big wake up call really Australia needed to look at.
It's scarred Melbourne.
It has
scarred Melbourne, and look, they're making some good out of it about the reaction of people and all that, and how people have reacted in the last few days. But honestly, it shouldn't have happened.
No,
it shouldn't have happened.
In light of this, for the people who have unfortunately passed away. James established with a few other groups organising a meet to raise some money for the families and that.
So we're raising money for the Burke Street Moor Fund,
yeah,
which has been opened up in light of this situation. It's going to be on the 5th of February at Sandown Raceway, and we're just going to have a good day out. Zero tolerance event, family event, no burnout skids, drugs or alcohol. Just come down. Donations will be taken on the day, and just a good fun day for motoring enthusiasts.
Good on you. Yeah. Get together to support the common cause, and
we're bringing most of the car clubs in Melbourne together, and some workshops and whatnot to raise money, to raise awareness for this sad time.
Yeah, that's a fantastic thing you guys are doing, James. What we like to promote car meets on this show. But in this instance, this is like a really big one. So and it's it's for a good cause. So try to get there if you can. If you've got nothing else to do on that weekend, it's a Sunday, I believe. Sunday, take your car down there, and is it a show and shine as well and everything? Or
it's basically a show and shine. Everyone gets together. We're trying to organise a DJ. We've got trying to organise models for photography on the day for donations, and also I'm not sure if anyone's been out there but seen there's the guys that dress up cosplay like Transformers, Iron Man, and Thor.
Yeah, cool.
Also Batman coming down on the day. So
that'd be cool.
Yeah, trying to get them out as well.
Yeah, so look,
something for the kids.
How can they find out more information on it, James? Is there a Facebook page for it yet?
A Facebook page will launch soon. It'll be basically everywhere because all the groups in Melbourne or Victoria will be sharing it.
Well, you'll be able to publicise it next week as well.
Definitely.
I'll put it on CarTorque.
Yeah. Definitely, I will.
And even your webpage, of course, I'm sure we'll have it on that.
Yeah, I will definitely share it on that. That'll be one of the places. So if you forget about it, but you remember, you heard it on the CarTorque with Matty J, it will be on my Facebook page shortly once the event is up and running completely. Yep. But check also your local car clubs and stuff, because they will also be promoting the event, which is a very good. A very good thing for motoring enthusiasts, because motoring enthusiasts are shown in a bad light most of the time. But a lot of people don't see the good side that motoring enthusiasts do when because they do a lot of meets where all the money collects for donations for
100%. So most of the car clubs out there, they host like a monthly meet or a monthly thing, and every month they raise a good few grand for different causes or different charities. So.
Good idea.
For us to come together and
make a massive event,
make the event, make the money go to something worthwhile.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah,
it gives us a reason to come out, and we're raising funds and awareness for something.
Yeah, It's a fantastic initiative, James. I'm glad you and Esblshd are on board because it's because we always promote Esblshd on here, and they're doing great things for the community and the car fraternity, really, because we are a dying breed, us car enthusiasts. So to put us in a good light and to get everyone together is always a good thing.
I agree. I think it's fantastic. Awesome. Well done. Full credit to the lot of you. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, so we'll move on because it was a bit of a sour note, that last one. But we want to talk about Group B Rally.
Group B Rally.
Yeah, Group B Rally
was good.
So it's basically rally cars from the 80s. So Group B was basically, there was not much restriction on rally cars. This is at a time when car manufacturers were pretty much putting ridiculous horsepower into cars, and just to make their car the fastest on the rally stage.
We're talking like cars 400 horsepower plus.
More, man. Like some were hitting 800 horsepower. Like
turbocharged, supercharged. Just crazy stuff. Something that weighed maybe 700 to 800 kilos at the time,
if that.
Yeah. No proper barriers. No. Dirt roads, and these things are going through them at about like 100 miles, 160, 100 or so k's.
Yep.
On top of that, no barriers caused multiple deaths on the actual track because of people that were coming onto the track to watch these, and they call them killer bees because they just came in swarms.
Swarms, yeah.
So yeah, people were running out onto the track to watch them and actually got hit by cars because they're that quick.
Yep, and that was one of the reasons Group B got banned, but we will get to that shortly. So for those who are like, what is a Group B? So it was at a time when to get a car made for a certain event, it had to be homologated. And what homologated means was the car companies had to build a certain amount of road-going versions. So, for example, with Audi with the Sport Quattro had to build, I think it was 500 of the Sport Quattros. And they had to be sold before they could have their actual rally car, built. Yeah. Same thing with the Ford RS200 and so on and so forth. Cars. Yeah, and all Lancia and all that stuff.
Yeah, Delta
Integrales and all that. The Integrales came later, but we're talking about probably the S4s.
S4s
and, yeah. So and the 037 and stuff. Basically, these cars were just it was pound for pound warfare between automotive manufacturers because they just wanted to outdo each other, but they were building these cars, and I'll be honest with you, they were so dangerous. They had that much power, and Group B came to a crashing halt when it was Ford. They built the RS200, pretty much straight for Group B. It was designed for Group B. The car was insane. The way it was designed was a rear engine, all drive, had 2 shocks per corner. It was just it was like a proper built. It was a car just made for this, but they sold some versions just to get it homologated. And on one fateful day, coming around a corner, it rolled at really high speed and went into a crowd and killed. I think it was over 20 people or something.
Jeez.
So then they had to say they had no barriers, and there's still in a lot of rally stages today don't have barriers, but there's more precautions taken from the Group B days.
Well, Group B basically, the people basically lined the road, or the track. So basically, one false move, it could have ended
a long time ago,
a year after it started, but they had a good track record for I don't know 15 years or so,
whatever it was,
and basically. The FAA or whoever does that sort of stuff, that governing body, just never caught onto it until something actually happened.
Yeah, and when it did,
it
took many lives with it, and then Group B came to a crashing halt because the cars were just getting out of control. The drivers would come out shaking. They were that scared from these cars. They were that powerful, and just utterly ridiculous in every way. So. This was the stage where pretty much the racing fraternity said, okay, we need to make strict rules and cut down, basically have rules that can not condone, but mediate racing. So it was whether it be in rally, whether it be in circuit racing, whatever it is. you know, they said, well, we can't have any more lives lost, like at the rate that it's happening, because rally it's still today, it's the most dangerous. I reckon it's the most dangerous sports. Yeah. I reckon it's the most dangerous sport in general, because one false move, you're in a tree, and you're going at 200 clicks per hour, and you know it's all over after one mistake. So, you know, it's important that we got through this stage. But having said that, they brought out some awesome road cars just for it, and these road cars now are really starting to appreciate, because people like these cars were made at a time when there was no restriction. It was just
crazy. It's just, why is this a car?
Blank check. Just said, build the fastest thing you can and put it on the road so we can win and get our name out in rally. And you know, it was the whole win on Sunday, sell on Monday kind of principle. We had it here with Bathurst and Holden and Ford, and you know, everyone, you know, just if the Bathurst was the big thing, and if you won, you know, you get to sell a car on you know, the next day. So. That's when it was big, and there was so many companies invested in it. There was everything, Japanese, European, you know, whatever it was, they were in rally. But it kind of brings us to like where we look at rally today, because rally today, it's very, very different. You know, they used to be 2 litres, now they're 1600s.
Yeah.
But they've still got all-wheel drive. They've still got, you know, like a whole bunch of other. You know,
they're still making the power.
Oh, they're still making a lot of power.
There's a lot of restrictions around it.
Yeah, and we're seeing like a lot of car companies come in and out just because they can't sustain the ongoing costs. Yeah. So, like when we look at some road going versions, because I know some road going versions that I've loved over the previous years that have cars that have been homologated, like for example the WRXs, the Subaru, the Mitsubishi Evos, like the Delta Integrales, the Escort RS Cosworth, stuff like that. These cars are just like, they're just incredible now.
They even got the Clios going, or the Megane, sorry.
Yeah. Well, if you look today, like they got you know, Fiesta STs and what they're calling RS and for the rally sport, but you know, you can still kind of get that fun factor from driving like the road going version. Like, okay, it's not as crazy as they were back in the 80s, but today you can still get that fun, and some really good rally, you know, going versions, for example, like, you know, like a Subaru WRX is a fantastic car, and you know, 100%. And you'll get your kicks out of it, you know, 9 times out of 10 every time you drive.
Just going down the road.
Just going down the road, yeah. It's one of those fun cars, and it came from the evolution of having, you know, evolution of Group B. So at a time when stuff was getting more mandated, we got better cars for it, and we got cars like, you know, like the WRX and like the Mitsubishi Evo, where they were built, they were based on road cars than being based on race cars.
Yep.
So, you know, and now in their right minds, like early WRXs and stuff, they're really starting to creep up in value, and especially Evos.
Yeah, Bugwise.
Yeah, like all
Bugwise, WRXs.
GC8, the earlier ones.
Even earlier.
Yeah, they're kind of they plateaued a few years ago, but now they're starting to get up. They're starting to appreciate.
Especially got the 2-door version. I think it's 22B.
Yeah, it's 22Bs are like $100,000 car. So. Yeah, someone's beeping the horn outside. Someone's still beeping the horn outside.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll check that out in a minute.
Any texts come through?
Nothing's come through yet. If you've got any ideas of any Group B cars you want us to talk about, or any previous road going cars, 0477. Sorry, 0447777 That's 0447777 989. Send us a text. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'll be happy to have a talk about it.
Discuss, yeah.
Yeah. Look, we're going to go to our next song of the night. We're going to go to a song called "Think" by Khalida, off the what's called I forgot the name of the movie now, the John Wick soundtrack. So this is "Think" by Khalida. We're back on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is CarTorque with Matty J. Sorry, that was Khalida with "Think," which is a really cool little track.
Nice music, mate. You've got a good range of music here on the car show.
I do my best.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
I like to have a bit of everything, which is always good, and obviously like to support a bit of Aussie music, even though that wasn't an Aussie group, that one. But it's, you know, that's what we do here on community radio. We support the Aussie artists. We got a text through. The question is why? See, I'll start again. Why did they have to make a certain amount of road cars before they could make the rally version? That is an excellent question. The reason why, from my understanding of it, was they had to make the road-going versions, obviously, to to prove that the car was a usable car and legal car. Obviously, to work out some kinks and use us as guinea pigs for these cars. But in motorsports, the correct definition is homologation is the approval process in which a vehicle, a racetrack, or standardized part is required to go for certification to race in a given league or series. So they have to be. It's basically it's a proven process. If the car's proven, then it can be used in the process. So that's what that's what I mean. So for example, in racing series that are production based, meaning that vehicles are entered in the series based on production vehicles, like in Group B and stuff, they had to be cars that were sold. They'll say, okay, you have to sell 500 of these before you can put it on the road. So. Bit of trivia for you, and a great question. So keep them coming. 0447777 989. That's 0447777 989. If you've got any more questions regarding anything car related, be happy to hear from you and be happy to answer your questions. Right here on 98.9 Northwest FM. It's all happening on tonight's show and on a Tuesday night.
And don't forget our webpage, northwestfm.org.
That's exactly.
A full list of other shows that are happening here at 98.9. So get involved. It's ever evolving and ever changing, the list there, but well worth having a look at.
Definitely, there's always shows. There's always shows. New shows coming on, and shows rotating. So there will be something for your niche if you
absolutely
if you want to have a look on.
There's the word of the night, niche. Yes. You might like the multi show, the country show. You might like on Thursday week returning Thursday week is the Thursday waffle from 7 o'clock with
your show.
With Fitzy and Daz, yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about himself.
Yep, always live acts and music happening there, and all happening here at 98.9 Northwest FM.
And your show on a Monday as well?
Yeah, they'll be back Monday week for your pleasure.
Yep.
Yeah, I did come back quickly. I think I was talking to you the other night. I said I did come back just after my operation before the New Year. But that was just for some sanity and to
get out of the house.
To get out of the house, and also, but yes, I'm looking forward to another great year here on 98.9 Northwest FM.
Well, it is good to see you up and about, and in the studio. It's because you were pretty sick on one stage, so it was good to.
It was an interesting experience being cut open like that.
Yeah.
I sort of.
Yeah.
I'm going to head off, guys. Look, I really appreciate you having me in. Do you want me to give you that answer to the question?
I'd love you to give the answer.
Because it was really interesting why they did it, because where they landed on the moon, it was so much area that they wanted to explore and the experiments they wanted to do. I can't remember the guy's name, to be honest, but he did pass away the other day.
Can I take a punt? I'll say 5 Ks per hour.
Okay. Guys, everyone, 4 of us in here. 5K? No? James?
James says 30.
James is closer.
Ooh. 50. Julian says 50.
50's way out. Huh?
And James from Esblshd?
36.
No.
36, to be precise.
The speed was 18 kilometres an hour.
That's it.
Yep.
There you go. I
remember Jerry Seinfeld talking about cars one night, and he said, it's a male thing. I mean, God, we went to the moon, and if it was females, they wouldn't have taken a car. They would have taken a hairdryer, I don't know. But 18 kilometres an hour was the speed that they reached.
That's not bad.
Considering there's no roads up there.
There's nothing, yeah. It's just right. Yeah.
And I think they drove the car for 3 or 4 hours, and you can imagine the cost and the research and all that. So it was definitely a male thing, You can tell NASA scientists at that time would have been, predominantly male. So as I say, but it was fascinating to know and well worth looking up. There are pictures of it on the NASA site, or if you just do a search on the internet,
you'll see it there.
It would be. You should have a look and see what it was, And I think it was. I even think it was a 2-seater because they went off to do their business and as they do on the moon and all that. But
go for a cruise on the moon.
All I can hear in my head is Nixon just. We must take a car to the moon,
1975. I think it was 75. So there you go. That was the last time man walked on the moon. Oh, drove
on the moon.
First and last time man drove on the moon. So there you go. There you go.
That is a good piece of trivia. 18 kilometres per hour. That'll be in the car quiz next week, I think.
Dare I say out of this world, but that would be... that was a terrible joke. That's not
it's all right.
standard of the joke you'll hear on a Monday night show. So, I'm sorry.
Well, thank you, Dr. Rock, for coming in.
Thank you, guys. And well done, James, who's over there in the corner there with the movie show. You guys are firing up. I don't want to take any more of your time off your show, but
by all means, you can come. You're more than welcome anytime, Darren.
That's
happy to have you in.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, Doctor. That was Dr. Rock. Tune into his shows Thursday night on
Thursday Waffle.
Yeah. What time's that?
7 till 8.
7 till 8, and
Monday night 6 till 7 with For Your Pleasure.
Yep.
Which is anything and everything. So
he does take requests. So
I do indeed. I live on requests, and we have some fun there. And in fact, I got a lot of requests from the guys, all the older guys who were with me at rehab today at Dorset in Pescavar, Dorset Hospital. Big cheerio to all the guys out there. Fantastic, helping everybody rehab. And I've got a lot of requests already for Monday week for that.
Lined up.
So yep. Don't go breaking my heart. Well, I think it was number 1 there. You know. So there you go. Because it's. All right, mate. I'm going to head off.
Sounds good, Darren. Take it easy.
Thanks.
So, James, it is now time again for the car quiz. Are you ready? Say it, Darren. Are you pumped for this car quiz, or what's going on? He's a bit lost.
I'm sort of dying.
Well, here it is, the famous CarTorque car quiz. There we go. That's it. Thanks, James. I'm a bit lost. Today. Question 1. Holden announced 3 final versions of the Commodore. What are their names? I'll make it easy for you, James, because there's 3. If you get 2, I'll put half a point for each.
I'm going to skip this.
Skip? We'll come back to that. Question 2. Group B rallying was specifically for what form of motorsport? We were just talking about it before.
What form?
Yeah. Well, what form of motorsport? Was it track? Was it...
Oh, it's a rally.
Rally, yeah.
You answered your own question, man.
Question 3. Tesla, the car company, was named after who?
Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla. That's correct. Question 4. The NSU RO80 used what type of engine?
Who's that made by?
NSU. NSU was made by.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Maybe an electric?
No, it was a rotary.
Really?
Yeah, the first car ever to come up with a rotary, believe it or not.
Wow.
And the technology failed, so Mazda bought it and then did it properly. Question 5. The last RX-7 was the what model?
The last FD.
FD, that's correct. Question 6. The final edition of that RX-7 was called the Spirit R. It came in 3 specs. What were they? It came in 3 types.
A Bathurst?
No. I'll give you another hint. Go. I'll give you another crack.
As in specs, as in what?
Alright. It came in 3 types. 1 was pretty much a track-ready version. 2 was like the track setup with like an interior, and the 3 was an automatic. Skip or?
I don't know their names.
Don't know their names? It's called Type A, Type B, and Type C.
Type C. There you go. Alright. Fair enough.
That's all good.
Learn something new.
That's a hard one to get. Question 7. True or false? Toyota Supra was originally based off the Celica platform. Skip. Question 8. Tickford announced this week the second model to get the Tickford model upgrades. What Ford car is it based on? It's a big hit here at the moment, and it's got a bit of a waiting list. I'll give you that hint.
The Mustang.
It is the Mustang. Question 9. True or false? All MPS vehicles, Mazda Performance Series vehicles, were manual.
Correct.
It is true. Question 10. EFI stands for what?
Electronic fuel injection.
That's correct. So we're going to get back to question 7. True or false? Toyota Supra was originally based off the Celica platform.
The Celica platform's still running. There's a new Supra platform. So.
Well, originally, we're talking about originally. This is back in the 80s. was, yeah. It was called the Celica Supra.
Oh, fair enough.
Question 1. Holden announced 3 final versions of the Commodore. What were their names?
It's like some new GTS or something? No?
No. I'll give you another hint. I'll give you another crack.
What is that? That new... like stuff doesn't look too good or something?
No, it's like the Ford had the Sprints. It's like their final edition, like performance Commodores.
Don't follow the Aussie market, man.
They were called the Motorsports Edition, the Director, and the Magnum. The Magnum came in, was their only use.
Fair enough.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 10. That's alright. There were some hard ones in there tonight.
That's all good.
6 out of 10. Not too bad at all, James, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I had to ask the Group B one, considering we're talking about Group B tonight.
Anybody know the Type A, B, and C? Come on,
yeah, man.
Oh,
man, you're the Mazda guy here. Come on.
Yeah.
Now, I used to love the Type A because I used to play a lot of Esblshd, and my RX-7 was a Spirit R Type A.
Yeah.
And it was in the dark blue, and it had a little body kit and like performance upgrades, and I still got the card actually, believe it or not. It used to go good. It was a fun game in Esblshd.
Really fun game. Good times.
But Spirit R is actually worth quite a bit of money because like they were pretty much like a track ready car, especially in Type A configuration, because they had they were only 2-seaters instead of the full 4.
Yeah, or guided interiors.
Yeah.
Sports suspension from factory.
Extra bracing and stuff like that. Yeah. So they were like the cream of the crop RX-7s, and that's why they're worth a lot of money these days. It's good luck finding one.
250 horsepower too.
Yeah.
Decent power.
And they were like people rag on rotaries, but they're a very tunable engine, and they can make a lot of power for not a lot of money.
Yeah, 100%. It's just they chew a lot more fuel, but seriously, if you think about it, if something is already spinning in any motion, and I can blame Paul for this because he taught me, basically anything that's already spinning is just going to get faster and faster, with that extra hint. Whereas a conventional piston motor is an up and down motion with a rotary at the bottom.
Yeah.
For the crankshaft.
Yeah.
But it's like if you think about the design of an engine, it's very harsh. Like what you're doing essentially is forcing the piston back down the other way that it came.
Yeah, exactly. And pushing it back up.
And then pushing it back up from that motion, and then forcing it back down again from the up motion. It's pretty harsh, the cycle.
And you got to think the engines are doing that for 8,000, 9,000 RPM.
Yeah, unless if you hold it for a minute and stuff. But some cars, talking about rally cars, they're holding it up there,
with anti-lag and everything, they're always in the boost.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, constantly,
And you look at F1 cars, they're 16,000, 17,000 RPM, which is just insane. So, whereas the smoothness of a rotary, I don't know if you've never driven a rotary, please go out and drive one. The smoothness of the rotary engines just have to be driven to be believed, because it's just insane. Like the way they, not necessarily the way they rev, but the way through the rev range, there's no shaking, there's no vibration. It's just just smooth.
It's a good power plant. You got to demand the power. Like you have to actually get the revs up there to get the power. But it's fun, in a standard porting or whatever. It's fun to drive around town, and then you can always plant your foot down and really hear that roar. Yeah, it's just it's unreal.
The only engines that come close to the smoothness and refinement of a rotary, I would say, are a 6-cylinder or an inline 6.
Inline 6, yeah.
Because inline 6s have got inherent balance, which make them the smoothest engines you can pretty much get.
Yep. But match that with a turbo, a correctly sized turbo. Yeah. PG F6 or
F6, 26 2JZ,
even
BMW engines.
BMWs 3.5 litre.
Yeah. They can they make some great inline 6s are fantastic, but in terms of I'm saying in closeness you're going to get to it, the smoothness feeling. That's probably as close as you're going to get if you've never driven one.
V8s, they're up there. They're nice and smooth when they're going, but they're fairly lumpy.
When they're down, yeah.
And they fire.
They've got an odd firing order, unless they've got a flat plane crank or something, which makes them completely different.
Yeah.
But they do sound better.
Of course.
But yeah, definitely go out and drive a rotary. even if it's an RX-8, like I drove an RX-8 recently, and like people bag on the Renesas engine, but I reckon it's fantastic. Like
awesome the way it sounds, the way it revs. It's got 3 stages of induction.
Yeah.
It's like a poor man's turbo, you could say.
Yeah.
Where you have, like for instance, 3 valves in the intake, which acts like a cheap supercharger.
Yeah.
That restricts air through one to up to about 3,500 revs. Don't quote me; it's really rough.
Yeah.
And then from like 3 to 5, both are open, and then 5k onwards, you have all 3 ducts open.
Forcing more air into
more in.
Like, yeah. And another reason why rotors were so popular is because they're technically kind of like a 2-stroke, if you'd say, because like there's only like well, it's still got like it's still got the same. It's got a little bit less of the cycle, so it kind of does like the 4 cycles of such swings, bang and blow in like half the cycle. Yeah. So
it's almost a 2-stroke motor, and you could say it's a 2-stroke because it has an oil metering pump, which injects oil into the housings.
That's why they use oil more.
Correct, and so motors that you do up or rotors that you do up. For instance, I was looking at an FB, which is like a series 1 to 3, with a 13B, so something out of like a late series 2, 3, but being turbocharged, and they've removed the oil metering pump, meaning it's basically a lawnmower. Because you go to the petrol station and you have to put in 100 ml of oil with every fuel, with every full tank of fuel.
It's a 2-stroke.
So you have to premix your fuel. It's basically you're driving a lawnmower.
Well, or a whippersnapper. Look, we're going to go to our last song of the night. We're going to go to Flight Facilities with I Didn't Believe featuring Elizabeth Rose. That was Flight Facilities featuring Elizabeth Rose with I Didn't Believe It. A good song, that one. I know James is a Flight Facilities fan, so I thought I'd play that one for you.
Thank you.
Look, we're out of time tonight, man. It's been a good show, actually. We've talked about a few topics. Group B being one of my favourite ever eras of rally, but having been...
Some excellent videos up there. I'll send some stuff through to you.
We'll
put it on the Facebook page.
Pop on the Facebook page, yeah. Definitely. And once the event goes live as well, I'll definitely share that.
Awesome.
So get out there,
support your local car club.
Support your local car club. And
in the words of, what's his name?
Which guy?
Kick to the Head mixtape.
Oh, Kick to the Head. Weapon X and Ken Hell.
Get out there, support your local car club.
Car club, yeah. That's right, harder than anybody on the road. Well, I'd like to thanks again, James, for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Always a welcome guest from James from Esblshd. We've still got James from Man vs Movies in the studio as well, and Julian, and big thanks to Dr. Rock because he's been unwell. Thanks for coming in. Glad to have you back in 98.9 Northwest FM. Also, I'd like to say thank you for all those who came to the car meet last week. There's some people are listening to the show, so I was surprised. It was actually kind of a little bit of a turnout, which is really good. They're all from they like the Facebook page, and one guy in particular listened to the show. So big ups to you guys. Thanks for coming in. We'll have to organise another one. Next time we'll go bigger and better. But in the meantime, I'm going to leave you guys with another song from the presets called "Talk Like That." Off their Apocalypse album as well. So this has been 98.9 Northwest FM. You've listened to Car Talk with Matty J. Take it easy.